What happens when the might of ancient legend collides with the power of an alien god? In an epic battle beyond time, the indomitable Hercules faces off against the unstoppable Superman. Who will emerge victorious when mythology meets modern heroism? Brace yourself for the ultimate clash of strength, endurance, and sheer willpower. The sky burned with the light of a setting sun, casting long shadows over the barren land. It was a place untouched by time, where no cities thrived and no voices disturbed the silence. Only the wind moved, whispering ancient secrets through the jagged cliffs and deep valleys. It was here, far from the eyes of the world, that two legends would meet in battle. One came from the distant stars, a child of Krypton who had outgrown his origins to become a guardian of Earth. Superman stood tall, his red cape swaying gently in the wind, his blue suit unmarked despite the countless battles he had fought. His eyes, glowing with restrained power, surveyed the landscape with the calm focus of a warrior who had long since mastered his own strength. The other was a relic of a forgotten age, a warrior born in the heart of myth and forged in the crucible of war. Hercules stood bare-chested, his body a monument to strength, his muscles sculpted by the trials of the gods. His skin was marked with scars, remnants of battles fought against beasts and titans alike. His golden club rested at his side, its weight insignificant in his mighty grasp. The air between them was charged, the atmosphere dense with a silent challenge that neither had spoken but both understood. Two beings of immeasurable strength had come together, and only one would stand victorious. The ground trembled as Hercules took his first step forward, the earth cracking beneath his feet. Superman did not move, his cape rippling as he watched his opponent approach. There was no fear in his gaze, only the quiet calculation of a warrior who had faced gods before. Then, without warning, Hercules struck. The force of the punch shattered the air itself, sending shockwaves across the land. The earth beneath Superman's feet split apart as the impact drove him backward. Dust and debris erupted into the sky, the land itself crying out beneath the weight of Hercules' power. Superman did not fall. His feet dug into the ground, halting his movement, his body absorbing the force with inhuman resilience. He straightened, his glowing eyes locking onto Hercules, and then he moved. The world blurred. In an instant, Superman was upon him, his fist colliding with Hercules' chest like a falling star. The impact was deafening. The air cracked, the ground cratered, and the force sent Hercules hurtling through the sky like a meteor. Mountains shattered upon his impact. Rocks the size of buildings tumbled down in avalanches, dust swallowing the horizon. Yet, before the debris could settle, a figure emerged. Hercules rose, unshaken, his body unbroken. He wiped the blood from his lip, his expression unreadable. He had fought monsters, gods, and titans, but never had he felt power like this. And yet, it only fueled his resolve. With a mighty leap, he ascended into the heavens, faster than any mortal eye could track. Superman met him midair, their fists colliding in a collision that sent ripples through the sky. Thunder roared without clouds, the heavens themselves trembling as their battle raged above the world. Faster than thought, they clashed across the sky, trading blows that could level entire civilizations. Every strike sent shockwaves across the planet, felt in the deepest oceans and the highest peaks. The winds howled in protest, the air bending to their will as they ascended beyond the clouds, beyond the atmosphere, into the void where the stars bore silent witness. In the vacuum of space, they fought unrestrained. Superman moved like a comet, weaving through the cosmos with impossible speed, his fists landing like falling meteors. But Hercules was relentless. His endurance, forged through battles that had lasted for days, gave him the ability to withstand punishment that would have obliterated lesser beings. Through asteroid fields and planetary rings, they clashed, their battle leaving destruction in its wake. Hercules grabbed a drifting moon and hurled it with unimaginable force, but Superman shattered it with a single punch. Superman's heat vision seared across the void, but Hercules endured the burning wrath, pushing through with sheer will. The battle was endless, neither warrior yielding. But in the heart of a conflict, something shifted. Superman was fast, powerful, indestructible, but he was also bound by limits. Not physical ones, for his strength was near infinite, but mental, moral. He was a protector, not a destroyer. He held back, even in the face of a god's wrath. Hercules, on the other hand, was bound by no such restraint. His body, fueled by divine power, did not tire. He had fought wars that spanned weeks without rest. His strength was not measured in raw power alone, but in his sheer ability to endure. And slowly, ever so slowly, Superman began to feel it. The creeping weariness in his limbs, the slight hesitation in his strikes. It was microscopic, insignificant to anyone else, but Hercules saw it. He felt it, and he pressed on. Back on Earth, the battle reached its crescendo. The land bore the scars of their conflict, craters marking the once pristine surface, mountains reduced to rubble, the sky itself darkened by the dust and debris that had been cast into the heavens. Superman stood in the heart of it all, his breath steady, but his body showing the first signs of wear. Hercules stood across from him, unyielding, his golden club resting against his shoulder. The moment hung between them, silent yet deafening. Then, with the force of 1,000 storms, Hercules moved. Superman braced himself, but the attack was different this time. It was not raw strength alone, but technique honed over centuries. Hercules feinted, dodged, struck from angles Superman hadn't anticipated. A knee to the ribs, a club to the back, a strike to the jaw that sent him reeling. For the first time, Superman stumbled. Hercules pressed his advantage, every blow carrying the force of titans, every strike calculated. He was not a brute, he was a warrior, and warriors fought to win. Superman gathered his strength, launching a final, desperate counterattack. His fists became blurs, the sky lighting up with heat vision, the air screaming with the force of his strikes. But Hercules endured. He always endured. Then, with one final, decisive blow, Hercules struck. Superman fell. The dust settled. The echoes of their battle faded into the wind. Superman lay on his back, his chest rising and falling with slow, heavy breaths. His suit was torn, his body bruised, his strength drained. Yet his eyes remained steady, his will unbroken. Hercules stood over him, breathing hard, his fists clenched. He had won, but it was a victory hard-earned. Never had he faced an opponent like this, a warrior whose power could rival the gods themselves. He reached down, offering a hand. Superman hesitated, then took it. Hercules smirked. "You fought well." Superman exhaled, standing tall once more. He had lost the fight, but the war, the eternal struggle for truth, justice, and the protection of the innocent, was far from over, and he would never stop fighting. Without a word, Hercules turned and walked away, his victory secured. Superman, though bested, knew that this was but one battle in an endless war. He would rise again, stronger, wiser, ready to protect the world once more.